Hi everyone, my name is Jason Fleischer, and I'm going to be your professor this quarter. I am really excited to get to know one another a little bit over the whole quarter. I want to encourage you to come talk to me anytime you would like to. We can help out, and me or anybody on the instruction team can help you out with things involving this course. And I am very interested in helping you get to the goals that you want to get to throughout your academic career and your life. So the purpose of this video is to tell you a little bit about me and who I am. And by telling my story, maybe it helps some of you see that sometimes it doesn't matter so much if life goes a little sideways. So, who is this dude? Why am I standing in front of you talking about whatever technical subject I'm lecturing on this quarter? Well, let's start with the dude. Um, I was born in Podunk Nowhere in a little town called Grand Junction, Colorado. When I was a kid, this town was less than 30,000 people. Nowadays, it's a bit bigger. That image you see there of the Colorado National Monument, when I was a preteen or a teen, I would walk there from my house and go hiking for the day. So it's pretty rural. There's a lot of farms. My high school, the chewing fountains, that was a good spoonerism. The water fountains were often plugged with chewing tobacco. And a lot of the vehicles in the parking lot were pickup trucks with gun racks. You know, that kind of environment. It was, as a geeky kid, I was not really in with the jocks or, any of the popular kids. I was mostly interested in doing things like reading books and playing Dungeons and Dragons. I wasn't real interested in athletic endeavors. I had a computer back before computers were cool, right? So I didn't really feel at home in this environment. And at this point, I got married before I even left for college because that was what a lot of us did in this town back then. I had a kid when I was 20 years old, and I started my college career at the local 4-year community college. Spent 2 years at community college before I went to the the statewide, proper university, Colorado State, and moved from Grand Junction to Fort Collins, Colorado. That was a big step up. There was like 100,000 people in that town instead of like 30. And I started to develop as a social being and kind of figured out there were other geeks around that I could connect with. I was married, I had a kid then. I was figuring out how to make things work and generically finding my way from thinking, oh, I don't know what I want to do, to ending up studying engineering, mechanical engineering, and then from mechanical engineering getting into things like how do you control mechanical systems? Well, usually there's a computer controlling their motion. And so I got into robotics and computer science, and from there things really blossomed. When I finished my undergraduate, I got an opportunity to go do a master's program in the same university I was in. And then from that master's degree in robotics, I went and got a PhD in computer science because the guy who was supporting me in my master's studies, the professor then, he had done some postdocing in the UK. And he connected me with people in Manchester, England, and I went there to study computer science. Now, this is like a big change. Like going from like Colorado kid, more comfortable, riding a horse than a bus, to living in a European city, uh, suddenly having to be basically the only American in the room, and having to represent an entire society, dealing with culture shock issues, and learning to understand Irish accents and all that good stuff. and studying computer science. Um, at this time, I was divorced already once I started my PhD, and I had to deal with having family separation problems. I got my oldest kid to come over. He was 8 years old, and for one of the years of my PhD, he lived with me and went to an English school, and just navigating all these challenges in life. After my PhD, I went on and I postdoced in Germany for a bit. And then I got offered a scientist position here in San Diego. So, along the way, I have had several twists and turns in my journey. When I came to San Diego, I was doing one kind of science, and I've switched the kind of science I'm doing about 7 times now over the last 20 years. And I only recently became a quote unquote professor, even though I've had a PhD for 20 years. I spent a lot of time slogging through postdoc, staff science kinds of positions. Basically, my course and career haven't been anything but straight. So, why do I tell you all this? Well, because a lot of you may be confused about what you want to do. You may have problems selecting your direction. You may worry that you're not where you, quote, should be. And I'm happy to have conversations with you if you're feeling those kinds of things. So, what else? I am a family guy. I have 2 kids, one from my previous marriage who's older than you, and an 8-year-old now. I got 2 cats. I do a lot of family stuff like, going for hikes, riding bikes. We like to go explore San Diego and hit the beach and all that kind of thing that I think everybody loves. Beyond the family stuff and academic stuff, my other major thing is I am a huge soccer freak. I will be happy to play pickup soccer with you. If you need kind of an aging and slow midfield destroyer, that's kind of my specialty. I am super into watching soccer. I definitely was a huge fan of our local professional team, the San Diego Loyal, but thank you very much, not MLS. Moving an MLS team in here destroyed our existing professional team, so they are now defunct and sadly have stopped operations. But hey, you don't have to wait for MLS. You can still watch professional soccer in San Diego because our women's soccer team, the San Diego Wave, include, I believe at my last count, 4 major figures from the women's national team, like Alex Morgan, Naomi Girma, right? So you can see top level professional soccer here in San Diego if you go to see a Wave game. I highly encourage anybody who's interested in soccer to go do that. And I highly encourage anybody who's into soccer to never ever go to MLS because I'm still angry about them killing off the Loyal. All right. Professionally, academically, if you look on the left here, you'll see this little word cloud shows you a little bit about the kinds of things I've published on. These are like the keywords from my various scientific publications. As I said, I started out in one scientific discipline. I made a lot of twists and turns. Basically, in my PhD, I was studying machine learning, neural networks, and robotics, especially the kind of robots that are mobile, that move from place to place and do stuff. And when I came here, I went from studying these kinds of artificial neural networks, these engineering tools for making systems, to studying the brain and using those same techniques, including robotics and artificial neural networks, to make models of how the brain solves tasks. So instead of studying robotic artificial neural networks, we were using those tools to model how different parts of memory, like episodic memory, work. Okay, More recently, I've taken a few other turns. I've kind of left to some extent behind robotics and to some extent the neuroscience stuff. And I've started working on more general biology, still using machine learning and statistics and tools like that, but to study, for instance, how aging progresses by using RNA-seq of cells in humans and looking at how the body changes its gene expression over time as you age. I've also got a strong interest in circadian health and metabolism. Things like, hey, it turns out that when you eat a donut at 8 a.m. and you eat the same donut at 8 p.m., your body reacts to those two donuts in very, very different ways. And also, likewise, when you go to sleep very, very late, 3 a.m.ers, that may throw off your circadian rhythms, which might actually affect your cognition and how good you are at studying. So we can definitely talk about stuff like that if you're interested. I have active research programs in that stuff. And more recently, I've started using data science and machine learning to do kind of more social science, looking at our local criminal justice system and if there's any evidence of racial bias in our justice system by acquiring data and doing statistical analysis. I also am running lots of experiments on how to teach better, right? Doing pedagogical experiments, doing statistics and analysis, trying to look at the data as we teach classes like this one right here and see ways we can help your learning be an easier path. So that's it. That's really me and my stuff in a nutshell. If you have interest in any of these topics, if you're looking for research projects, we should at least talk and see what's going on. Beyond that, right, in this class and beyond this class, I'm here to help you get to the next level. I really want to support your learning in any way possible. So please don't hesitate to ask questions of either a technical nature or to get in and converse about research, about opportunities that, if you have a goal in life, I want to help you get to that goal because I know that this class is just a small part in your journey. So I'm very open to these kinds of conversations, time allowing in all the stuff that I've got to do in the more immediate job. But I really love helping mentor students and get you where you want to go. So please do feel like you can talk with me. And in this class, I know this, right? I know this from long experience. Some of you will struggle. You'll probably feel like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or it's so embarrassing that I don't know this thing. And I'm just here to tell you, please come to office hours. Mine, the TA's, it doesn't matter. You are not the only person struggling with these topics, I guarantee you. And we cannot help you if we don't know that you're confused, right? Sometimes one-on-one attention is really necessary. That's what, you've got opportunities in discussion sections, in all the different office hours, and talking with your peers as well. Help each other get to the next level. You're never going to learn better than when you help teach somebody the material. So I encourage everybody to communicate, reach out, let's help each other figure this stuff out. Okay, that's all I've got. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you better over the course of this quarter. Bye for now.